Off the Rails podcast, episode 4, our first ever 4th episode.
That's right, we're coming at you live from the Beekeeper Studios in West Dallas, Wisconsin. You can also be found at tomandalexuniverse.com, on Twitter at the handle of @unipodcast, or on Facebook at facebook.com/unipodcast. Podcasts will also be available on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, and many other podcast hosting sites. Check our website out for more details on that as we proceed.
And this week we have our first actual real guest in the studio with us, Susan Majeski. I got it right this time.
You did. I'm
Say-
very impressed.
Say hello.
Hello.
All right. She is a local Cedarburg artist that has done our
Short.
our cover art. That's what it's. Is that what it's called? Cover art?
Yeah, I guess so. It's like 3/4 of your cover.
Okay, 3/4
We'll
of our
get there.
cover art. So, Cedarburg, by the way, that should just be called the wingman for all dudes necessary.
What's that?
If you take a chick to Cedarburg, you are getting dome. That is just going down. If you give her money and let a girl buy something, to the base.
I always just take them to the Out and Out or whatever it is.
What is the out and
That's
out?
like the mac and cheese and the sandwich place.
For a half bowl, you can get it for like $2. It's like
Really?
the cheapest mac and cheese you'll find.
So instead of taking a chick to Cedarburg, I could just get her mac and cheese and I would get dome.
In a killer sandwich, yeah. They also make their own custard in-house.
I'm
It's
getting
great
ripped
product.
off. Mao, mac and cheese tonight.
Both of you could eat for $10, I'm telling you.
Wow. And it's the out and
I
out.
believe so, right?
Where do I find one of these?
It's right. There's only one. It's right in that little stretch in Cedarburg, like kitty corner from the Piggly Wiggly.
Kind of looks like a Dairy Queen. I think it was a Dairy Queen prior to it.
Oh,
But then
I know
they just
exactly where
redid
is.
it now, and it's
Yeah.
supposed to be really fancy, but it was really controversial because the architecture didn't fit in with Cedarburg.
Right.
Okay.
I stopped there for lunch a lot.
All right. That's cool. And I see you brought your muscle with you today.
I did.
There's
He's my wine man.
Mark.
Yeah.
Ahoy.
The wine
My husband.
wingman. Nice job, Mark.
Awesome. Good job, Mark. He knows about Cedarburg too. That's why he moved there.
That's right.
Oh, no. He grew up there.
Whoa.
I moved there.
You moved there.
Yeah.
So you're a lifelong Cedarburg?
Yeah, well, no, I was born in Shorewood, but when I was 2, we moved to Cedarburg. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
That's pretty much. I was born in
count that.
Milwaukee. I went out to the suburbs.
4 blocks from downtown. Hasn't moved. He's also 4 blocks from downtown now.
I lived
Yeah.
in Milwaukee for 3 years.
Sure you did.
Oh,
Well, as an adult in college.
Yeah.
awesome. Well, should we get to our first rant?
Rant.
Actually, our only rant that we got going on today.
The one and only.
Have you heard about this?
I have not. So
You don't even know what I'm going to say.
I have no idea. But I
Maybe
know that
you
I
have-
haven't heard of it. Remember, we don't share things with
We
Alex.
do not. Okay, Alex is right
better
off
that
the
way.
cuff. Have you heard about Amazon's open your door policy?
I have not.
Yeah, okay. Totally right. Okay, check this out. Amazon is now doing this thing where you can set up a camera in your house called an Amazon Key, and it will allow the delivery people to open the door, like here's the video right here, and set the package in your house. How do you feel about that?
No, thank you. I would not like that at all.
No?
No.
Why not?
I don't want people in my house.
But you can watch them.
I don't care.
What-
I don't always have time to
Well, what
watch
are you going to
people.
do? You're just watching a video. What if that dude opens the door and just pulls his pants down and takes a dump on your floor? You can't stop him. He's
What's
in your
wrong
house.
with just opening the screen door and putting it in between both
A
doors?
lot of people don't have screen doors.
Well, that's fine. Put it down, or you can use pick it up at the drop place or whatever. You know,
Okay.
you have options besides letting people in your home.
See, now I'm thinking the total opposite of what you're thinking is, what if you're an Amazon employee and there's like 2 giant St. Bernards just barking at the window, and now you have to open the door to set this packages, and there's like just wolves attacking you.
Okay, come on in.
Come on in.
Go ahead. You
Uh,
wanted
no.
this, right?
You want to? No, I'm not going to open your door because I got 2 giant fucking dogs ready to rip my throat out.
Or your Jeffrey Dahmer's house.
Or Jeffrey Dahmer's house, yeah.
So come on in.
Or what if they
My first
like,
thought was Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction? Yeah, Pulp Fiction. Some dude's just banging another dude with a ball in his mouth. And, oh, I didn't know the Amazon guy was coming
Hold on.
this early.
One sec.
Zach, I'll sign for that. What do you need? Okay, for that. He's got the ball in his mouth, just getting banged.
He's trying to say help.
Help me. Shh. You didn't see nothing, Amazon man. So, yeah. Anything else about that?
This is just reminds me of, like, you know, putting chips in yourself, like we talked about earlier in the first episode. It reminds me of your friend, our guest, Jen, when they had people come to the house and take blood and things like that. Like, no.
Well, I just don't like the fact that in order to have this done, you have to, like, install a camera and put it in your house. That's, like, just a lot of work. How dangerous is your neighborhood?
Right.
Well, and can it be hacked? Because, I mean, every piece of technology that's coming out right now, like Amazon may have good intentions, but how easy is it to hack?
Right.
I mean, they've been talking about how the automatic starts on, like, your cars, that you can actually hack into that. And how, like, the automatic brakes, there was a guy who set up, he actually was on the opposite side of the law for a while, and he showed out how you can actually hack into a brake system on some of these automatic cars and turn off the brakes. So
Terminator is going to happen, is what this is.
So just a big
I'm not
circular
sure if
electrical
any of
ball's
these
gonna
people
show
have
up and
ever
kill
watched
me.
a sci-fi movie ever. I mean,
Yeah.
it never ends well.
No, it's getting a little too far with well, you know how easy it is, you know, I do the siding and stuff just to get into somebody's garage.
Yeah.
Everybody has that garage door code. I probably shouldn't say this, so don't become a criminal like this. But if you just rip that thing off and put the two wires together, the garage door opens. And it's only held in there by a screw. You don't need a code. You don't need anything. You just rip it off, touch the wires, and your garage door's open. So what are they going to do when professional hackers can get into your Amazon camera?
See everything you got.
Yeah. The new smart TVs, dude, they said don't even be on the phone around them because if you give your credit card number, people can hack your TV and it listens to you.
And it puts up ads based off of things that you look up and talk about, and like, oh,
Jesus.
yeah.
Don't be surprised if your phone tries to sell you Pulp Fiction later tonight.
Yep. All the time. Oh, Pulp
Seriously.
Fiction. Would you like a red ball for your mouth?
On sale for $7.99
Yeah.
on Blu-ray at Best Buy. And you watch for that tonight.
Awesome. So, you're not going to get the Amazon key,
Nope.
Susan? You want
I
Amazon
put
key?
that on the same thing as like Alexa and Siri and all these
You're
things.
not gonna
that
get an
talk.
Alexa?
No, thank
Your
you.
government listening box?
I am 1 foot, the idea of living off the grid at this point in time. Too many computer stuff. Again, I watch sci-fi movies, so it just
They all
Inevitable.
end up happening.
no, and
eventually.
it's never good. It's
Right.
never good.
You know, this is going to come back because I got an Ask Alex Anything question that will come full circle to this topic.
All right.
All right, let's hit up our local event section here. Here's an update. Last week we talked about the Milwaukee Marathon.
Yes.
You don't know about that?
I don't run for fun.
Nobody does. Well, they fucked up the marathon 2 years in a row. Last year it was, what was it, a half or a mile too long, and the year before, and then this year it was a half mile too short. And this is like a qualifying race.
Oh, is it for like the Boston Marathon?
Yeah, you gotta qualify
Oh.
and do this shit. Well, they fucked it up twice. So we talked about that last week. And now Alderman Robert Bauman said it's now facing a key city official who wants to put it out of its misery. And he says he will not approve the marathon for next year.
Well,
It is done.
They should at least take a year off as a penalty for fucking up people.
They should have done it the first year, but
Right.
they fucked up. They were already on that short leash of fucking the bed.
Yeah, as you so eloquently spoke last week.
Yeah.
It's a slap in the face to everybody that trains for it and tries to get to
And
that
pays
next
money to
level
run.
and pays money, and then to find out that everything you did doesn't count because somebody else botched
Fucked
the
up.
whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, looks like we won't be having a Milwaukee Marathon next year. Good job, Milwaukee. But on a happier notes, I was looking up these downtown bus tours.
Mhm.
They seem pretty fucking awesome, dude. They have everything. Bloody Mary tour.
Yep.
Pre-prohibition tour. A taco bus. A pizza bus.
Yep.
You just go to different places and get all this shit.
It's like bar hopping, but with different
Yeah,
routes. That's
on a
cool.
Milwaukee City bus. So if you guys want, go check out the downtown bus tours and get in on it. I mean, that sounds pretty cool.
I have not done one myself, but I've heard a lot of positive things on people that did the pre-prohibition tour at some of the
Pre-prohibition
bars.
tour sounds awesome.
Yeah, at some of the bars in the downtown area. I think like Shakers is on there because they have like a haunted house tour and everything. You kind of dress the part when you go there. I've been there a couple times,
Mhm.
and I've also heard mostly ladies say that the pizza bus is pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, take a chick on the pizza bus and you will get domed, says Cedarburg.
Cedarburg isn't that cool.
Cedarburg's pretty cool.
No, Cedarburg is like.
They know how to party.
Do they though? I
Look
mean,
at Summer Sounds. That kicks everything's ass.
yes. They do a nice job with the music, but if you actually talk about Cedarburg in the downtown area, it thinks it's better than it actually is.
I would agree with that.
Really?
Businesses have a hard time surviving on that street.
I know you can't build above like the church height or something. Isn't there a weird
There's
law?
building limitations. A lot of it is historically preserved, so it's on the historical preservation list. Which
So you can't build a wheelchair ramp
no, you can't
for the
build a
wheelchair
wheelchair
person
ramp.
because
So
it'll ruin the historical
you're
accuracy of the
limiting-
building.
You're limiting your access to, if you have wheelchairs, if you have any type of, everything's upstairs.
Yeah,
I guess.
and they're high ass stairs.
Oh yeah, and having worked on that street before, I worked in 2 different buildings. One where wheelchairs could get in, and one where wheelchairs couldn't. And the coffee shop wanted to put in a ramp, and the historical preservation said no because it would ruin the front of the building.
So
Take your
Cedarburg-
wheelchairs and go home.
Yeah, roll on out of here, cripple. Get the fuck out of here. Cedarburg don't want
Cedarburg
you.
is one of those fun, touchy subjects for me. So
Okay.
not to go off your topic at
Well,
all.
I like Cedarburg.
Cool town, a lot of cool things to do, a lot of history, but I agree with Susan that they might think they're a little bit better than they are.
Oh,
They gotta
if
carry
one
that
guy in a
around.
wheelchair can't go see the chocolate factory, then fuck him.
Well, and there's a lot of great stores and ideas that get floated on, but it's really not the stores or the store owners that are in charge of Cedarburg. They actually have 2 different Chamber of Commerces. They have the Chamber of Commerce, and then they have
The chamber of
merchant-
go fuck
yeah.
yourself, cripple.
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. And then they have the Merchants Association, which was started. They should really only have one, the Chamber of Commerce, which is where all the businesses get a part of it. But they actually have 2 different ones because there's a rival clique that didn't like what the chamber was doing.
The
So they
Hatfield
started.
and McCoys. of
Yeah,
Cedarburg.
they started their own, little group, and you have to pay merchants fees for it. And so a lot of those businesses are a part of both because they don't want to step on anybody's toes. But if you're a business and you're going to go into Cedarburg, it's really difficult because you're fighting a lot of different systems. And a lot of stores don't survive. And if you look at the turnover rate, there's some really cool little like boutique type things, where you can take your girlfriend to go spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
But they last, the average
Dome
time that
City.
they last is about 3 to 5 years because they're fighting a system there.
Okay.
So, Universe, that was some great information, and don't say we never taught you anything, because I just learned a bunch of stuff myself, so thank you.
There you go. All right, it's about time we get on with the interview now. Susan
Majeski. Come on.
Think majestic.
Majestic. I don't see majestic when I look at Mark.
Wow.
Look harder.
There it is.
He's sitting on a couch drinking wine out
That
of a
is-
Jack Daniels glass. The dude's
That's
majestic.
class.
And it's
So,
My arm candy.
arm candy.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Susan. Tell us what you do real quick.
What do I do? I do a couple of different things. I have a studio, so I do my own artwork. So that's what I wish to be most of my life. But you gotta be all about the adulting these days and health insurance. So now I've moved on from diabetic shoes to the corrugated product industry. It's very exciting. But what I want to do, of course, is really the secondary job, which is artwork and studio and teaching and being involved in the arts community and
Okay.
all the really exciting stuff.
So what's it like being in industry where the best career move you can do is to die?
Yeah, and then you don't get to see a dime.
Wow.
You look at these really famous artists like Van Gogh and everything, and everybody knows, like, that's the one artist everybody knows his stuff. Guess what? Didn't see a dime. Didn't see a dime of it. Most artists don't see a dime of their artwork because they don't get famous until after they're dead. No, it's one of the hard parts about being an artist is that you're held to the standard that everybody around you thinks, oh, starving artist, you're never going to make a dime, don't go to art school. But in the next breath, they're like, hey, so can you donate your artwork? We're having a fundraiser coming up, and we would love you to have a piece in it, but can you donate it?
Oh, yeah. Don't make any money.
Yeah, so there's a lot of donations. So
what if I donated it and then died?
Or
wouldn't that be even better?
Or they're like, I'm waiting. Oh, I love this piece that you're doing. I can't wait for it to go on sale. Okay, that's great. Or you're at like an art festival. You put in the work. You pay your booth fee. And you're sitting there doing your artwork, and someone comes up, oh, I love your artwork. And they pull out their phone and snap a picture of your artwork.
Ooh.
And you're like, and then like, I love your stuff. I can't wait to put this up in my room. You're like, okay. So I think artists in this industry, today, particularly with the rise of cell phones and the camera phone and automatically being able to snap it.
High resolution.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're very complimentary, so you can take it away like, oh, they love your work. But on the other hand, they are constantly trying to get you to wheedle down your price. And it's not, and I've kind of mentored a couple of new artists who come out there and they're like, well, how do I price my work? How do I, figure out what price to charge? Or people who are not familiar with like how artwork is priced, and they walk into a gallery and like, oh God, that piece is like $1,000. I could get a print at Kohl's for $15. Most of the galleries out there take 50 to 60% of your work. So the percentage.
A consignment, so
right,
to speak.
consignments, right. So you put your work in a gallery. They take 50 to 60 because they have overhead too. You got to think, okay, well, I've got my canvas, I got my paint, I've got my brushes. And that's all factored into the price. So really the take-home pay of it is $120. And you think of the time it's spent to paint that work, you're getting maybe minimum wage.
Wow.
So it's a lot that I think artists are facing today, particularly painters and people who draw and even photographers, because photographers, everybody's a photographer these days because they have their camera phone and there's all these filters. But like the whole concept of being able to go into a dark room, develop your own work, and the process of it is so complicated. I took some photography classes where they start you off with taking pictures with a paint can. You poke a hole in a paint can and you put photosensitive paper in there, so light sensitive paper, and you learn about what actually goes into producing an image, that light that's hitting the photo, and how long should I be having an exposure? Well, people don't have to learn that these days. They just whip out their camera phone. Right. So it's like I'm beating up the camera phone. I'm beating up technology.
And Cedarburg.
And Cedarburg. It's so difficult these days to be an artist, and because you're facing that reputation of starving artist, you're not going to make money till you're dead, but yet they're the first ones to whip out their camera phones, appreciate your work, and then take a picture and walk away without paying you.
Right.
So
it's definitely.
It's hard.
The photography part is definitely a dying art.
It's changed the whole concept of artists.
Right.
I mean, everybody needs an artist, but they don't want to be paying the artist. That's the thing.
Right. And I remember the process of photographs because my grandparents ran a studio for over 40 years, and I remember, how much it changed, and you saw the writing on the wall with how the business is going to go. Because, initially, you had the photographs, they had the negatives. My mom was actually the retoucher of the negatives, like by hand.
Really tedious work.
Right. And then she would do that. And then it goes to, the lab. We'd send them off to the lab to make the proofs and everything. And then you come back, and now all that stuff is completely irrelevant. They've completely cut out entire industries because of digital cameras and phones. Like, put people out of work because of...
Well, and, that's that push that... Technology is so exciting, and it's always, what can we do? What can we do? And they keep pushing forward, but they don't stop. It's like that again, you go back to the sci-fi, and just because we can doesn't mean we should. There's so many art forms being lost these days, and I think it's kind of a pendulum thing. I think eventually the pendulum will swing the other way because there'll be enough people out there who's like, let's preserve this process. But yeah, the whole concept of developing your own work in your studio, like particularly photography, I think is the one to focus in on because of the digital age. Mm-hmm. It's a whole different world.
They'll always have the old school enthusiasts, but they're pretty much backed into a corner. You're less than 1% at this point.
Because you can't make your money back.
Right.
And the materials are hard to get, particularly in photography. Like, you want those chemicals, you're paying top dollar to get those chemicals, and then you have to have insurance to set it up because they don't want to have that in your home because it's really flammable and very toxic to breathe.
Yeah.
And so if you put a photograph out there and you're pricing it at a couple $100, people are looking at it like, oh, well, I can do that on my camera phone.
Take a picture of your photograph.
Yeah. Bam. It's like, but it's all about the process. It's the materials. I'm spending so much money. It's like, oh, no, I can use it on my camera phone.
You can't see that in the picture.
No.
Right. So it's no longer appreciated by most.
Yeah.
I'll just wait till the hipsters rediscover it.
Exactly. Right. It's like, God bless those hipsters. They get a hard rap because they latch onto these things, but really they're the ones who are looking like, hey, vinyl. And I know a lot of people who tend to shit all over vinyl because it's terrible listening. But there is a process where you have to be focused in on listening to that record. I know we listened to another podcast where they kind of talked about like listening to a record. You have to be actually concentrated on the music because the record, you have 5 songs and it ends and you have to flip it. And so you're completely focused on listening to that music and flipping it over, and you're engaged with that music versus you get your shuffle and there's 1,000 songs and you're like, flip, flip, I don't like this one, flip, 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 flip. How many times do you flip through your...
Get up and side one. Side one is over. Give me a beer too.
Yep.
Even with tapes, you had to fast forward. You don't even have to do that anymore. You just go flip, 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 flip.
I remember recording tapes on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit, it's on.
Yeah.
Was it,
missed like the first 10 seconds.
What is that John Cusack movie where he talks about like creating...
High Fidelity?
Yeah, High Fidelity. The soundtrack where he's creating a mixtape for the girl he likes. And it's such a process because you have to like record and you have to balance everything out, where now it's,
I used to
memory stick.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah.
Make a mixtape for this girl. It's going down.
Yep. That's how I'm going to
Mac and cheese mixtape.
Mac and cheese.
We'll listen while we eat in the park, out and out, and listen to the fine
with our
sounds.
$2 half bowls.
Listening to Jodeci and Boys to Men.
All right. Have you ever heard, like, you do like Festa and all that? Have you ever heard people just when they don't think you're around just talking shit about your artwork?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's that like?
Well, I think when you go into it's like acting or anything else, you got to develop a thick skin. Okay. Like, I understand that when people look at my work, I do a lot with big, thick, black lines, and it's very graphic, like not graphic, like, but graphic artish. And I like doing that. I can do other things. I do a lot of commissions, and I call them, a lot of dogs and houses. And I can do any style you ask me to, but at the end of the day, I really enjoy really thick black Sharpie lines and bright colors, but it's not for everybody. And you get those people walking through like, my 5-year-old could do that. I'm like, okay, fine. Have your 5-year-old.
I wouldn't hang this piece of shit in my doghouse.
Right, and so, you gotta wait for that one person, but then that one person walks by and they're like, oh, I love this. I know exactly where I'm going to put this. And they get really excited, and then it makes it all worth it. Yeah. So, it's like anything. I think when you're a younger artist, the biggest thing that you can do is participate in critiques. I think the younger generation, here we go, I'm not that old, but the younger generation are delicate snowflakes.
Let me tell you something about these millennials.
Yes, millennials. I don't want to rip on them too hard, but I mean, because it's not really their fault, because of bullying and anti-bullying and these waves of things that have kind of come out where they're protecting kids. But on the same end, there we go. Sorry, we had a wine break here.
You just keep filling that wine up there, buddy.
Boy,
I have one job here.
You got one job.
But I'm gonna do it.
That's right.
You fill the wine and you're the muscle.
and the arm candy.
And the arm can.
And the arm
3
candy.
jobs.
Exactly. But they don't know how to take critiques, and they don't know how to. A critique is meant to particularly constructive criticism. You know, you look at your work, and that's one thing when I'm teaching. I have my youngest student right now is 8 years old. My oldest one is 64. So it's, you know, you got to switch your mindset. But one of the things I make them do is I make them do a critique where you sit back and say, okay, talk about your artwork. And what? And the first couple of critiques, they get really awkward because how do you talk about your artwork? Because you don't want to say anything negative about your artwork. But there's always something to fix. And so once they start looking critically at their, it's like, well, I can move this, I can move that. And particularly a group critique where everybody is critiquing. I mean, that's a really key part of art school, is that you need that group critique because people are pointing things out that they see as a viewer that you're not seeing. Or maybe they point out positive things that you didn't see because you knew what you were going for, but it didn't quite get there. So I think once you go through art school, once you develop that thick skin, stuff like that, you kind of like brush off like whatever. And if you take that to heart and let that affect you and get into your mind, you're never going to make it as an artist. Okay. And so you'll stop doing shows, you'll stop doing galleries because like, oh, people don't like my work. Well, no, some yahoo who's looking at it didn't get what you were going for, but that's fine. Mark, my husband, who's sitting here, hates half of the stuff that I do. And
I let you know.
Yes, he loves it. My favorite painting that I've done, I love this painting. He looked at it and he went, oh, that's messy. Oh, well, shut up. You don't know what I was going for. And I'm like pointing all these things like, no, it looks really messy. But that's his personality. He looks for clean lines. He looks for different things out of artwork. Everybody's going to, look for something different. So you can't take it personally.
Okay.
That's something, I don't necessarily know if it's a millennial thing, at least coming from my experience, just me. When I was like in my teens and early 20s, I didn't like constructive criticism at all. If somebody said something about my shit, I'd be like, fuck you, you do it better, or fuck yourself. Yeah, that's kind of just how I was.
Yeah.
Now, when I got older in my 20s and my 30s, I appreciate it because the older I get, I take that step back and go, yeah, I could do that, I could change that. But
you like learning better.
Right.
You're honing your craft.
You appreciate the experience and somebody else's point of view and learning from a bunch of different perspectives. Where I was younger, I didn't care. You told me to do a job, I did the job. You don't like it, fuck yourself. That's basically how I was.
Yeah.
Call it maturity, call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's like that's how you survive in your industry is you mature in
for the
it.
first time in my life today.
Yep.
Don't be afraid of criticism. Don't be afraid. I mean,
Absolutely.
definitely there are some dicks out there who are like, oh, that's a fucking piece of shit. That's not even constructive.
Yeah.
But
speaking of dicks, this is our probably last question we can wrap up with. Everybody on the podcast knows that I'm really good at drawing dicks. You give classes.
Uh-huh.
If I called you up and said, I want to be better at drawing dicks, can you help me? Would you take my money?
You know what? Again, everybody has their own voice. Everybody has their own subject and topic. And it's my job as your teacher to make sure that you do it to the best of your ability. So if that is your focus, who am I to say, like,
well, if dick is your focus,
if dick is your focus. Hey, there's been a lot of artists out there. Hello, like Picasso. If you look at his stuff, very phallic. Georgia O'Keeffe. All those, I mean, everybody's got their own thing.
Well, those are vaginas.
Yes, those are vaginas. Sorry.
Yeah.
Those are vaginas, not dicks.
Well, if you're going to teach me, I need you to send me some of your own dick pictures. Because I want to get the best dick pic teacher.
So you got to start with anatomy classes. Everybody's like,
I've taken all anatomy
classes. I highly recommend.
Oh, not drawing anatomy.
If anyone's ever watched the SNL skit with Will Ferrell, where he comes.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the. Yeah, that's what a lot of people think that figure drawing classes are.
Okay.
And definitely, there's nude people standing in front of you, and it gets very weird your first couple of times, and people are like, God, you're drawing naked people all day. So, but there is a method to the madness, and if you're interested in the gender, of the human body, and
just dicks. I want flaccid. I want hard. I want it coming at you. I want it swinging.
See, but that still says something about you, and you can still make it artistic, and you can still do something with that. If that's your obsession, hey, power.
I want to like draw a dude sitting in a chair, and then there's dicks coming at him from every angle, and he's just crying.
I would love to be out with you in the future, and somebody comes up and goes, "Oh, you're Tom the Dick Guy." That'd be great.
See,
yes,
the art historian in me, because I also have a background in art history, becomes like, let's analyze this. Well, clearly, Tom, you're looking at how the stereotypes of masculinity is putting pressure on you, and you feel pressure on that. So that crying person being attacked by dicks is really someone trying to find their own in a very masculine world. You're putting the words in your mouth.
Yeah, I just think dicks are fucking hilarious looking.
And you know what? That's at the end of the day, when you look at all those big art history reviews, they make a lot of assumptions, and maybe it's just an artist like, hey, I like dicks. And maybe it's
story. That sentence.
What do you want? I like dick. All right, Susan. While we're wrapping it up, you got any website or anything we can put in here?
Go to the Arts Mill. If you just type in, that's terrible. I don't even know the website for my own. I'm part of the Arts Mill in Grafton, which is, if you're into the whole rivalry with the Berg, the Cedarburg, I'm part of the Arts Mill group in Grafton, and they're a little bit more edgy. We get a little bit more interesting shows, in my opinion, up on our gallery floor. But yeah, check me out. Come up to the mill in Grafton and just look at some of the art up there, and a lot of interesting stuff going on.
Find it. I'll put a link on the page.
Yeah, put a link on the page.
There is a bar on the first floor.
There is a bar on the first floor, which is excellent. The tap room.
20% of the people have just bought into that.
The tap room's new. They've been open for a year. The guys up there really know their shit. And here we go. www.theartsmill.org.
The Arts Mill.
The Arts Mill.
The Arts Mill.
In Grafton.
Check out the new bar on the first floor, the Roastery, which is a coffee shop if you're more into coffee versus beer. I mean, we've got a coffee shop.
You prefer stimulants over depressants?
Yes.
There you go.
We got you.
We've got everything. So yeah, come visit us.
All right. All right, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the podcast. Ask Alex anything. Molly, do we have a scream or something? What are we doing? Do you need
the Wilhelm scream right here?
What kind of scream do you want?
It could just be me going, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Every time.
All right. This is where you guys can email at askalexanything414@gmail.com. We will read your stuff on the air, and Alex will give you the correct answer, because that's what he does.
That is not even true.
That is totally true. Okay, Alex. First question. Dear Alex, marry, fuck, kill.
All right.
Ricky Lake, Sarah Jesse Raphael.
Sally Jesse
Raphael.
I remember her show.
And Oprah.
You're going to marry Oprah for that coin.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
let's be serious. You're good for life.
Okay.
You're in like Flint. That's the next two are tough. It's like a coin flip here. Just because of age, I'm going to put my hand over Ricky Lake's mouth and bop her, and we're just going to kill Sally Jesse because nobody remembers her.
And she's close to death anyway.
Yeah,
You're doing her a favor at this point.
How's that?
All right. That must be correct.
Must be the right answer.
Okay, dear Alex. Why do kids nowadays not count blowjobs as sex?
I never counted blowjobs as sex. So, I'm sorry. I'm with the kids nowadays, I guess.
Oh, you.
That was a separate category to me. Like, you banged them, or I got a BJ. I didn't say I had
This is
sex
coming
with
from
them.
an older lady, by the way.
Okay.
Well, just out of curiosity, what's your baseball analogy? Because everyone's first base is different. Everyone's third
That's
base is
third
different.
base, isn't it?
Right.
Let's go over the bases.
That's because you can still be a virgin and give a blowjob.
Okay, first base is blowjob.
In my world, first base is a blowjob.
Yes.
Second base is holding your hands.
Yeah. I think I usually went with first base is you get some boob grab over, up the shirt,
Under the shirt?
under the shirt, over the shirt, whatever you got to do. In the dark, sometimes I would just Hulkamania the shirt right off. Just, yeah, brother. Just getting.
Yeah, sister, brother.
And second base, usually, you're getting your finger wet. I mean, let's be serious.
Okay, you're getting
Third base,
You're
BJ,
leaving with some stink on you.
Going for
base. Whatever we
We're
play
going for
cricket.
home. Going for home, whatever you
Now
want
we're
to
on
call.
cricket. Okay, we got
Yeah.
ninth base.
You know what that is. You know what it is. I don't know. Everybody's different.
I don't know.
I never counted a BJ's sex. I would be like, I got a BJ from her.
Okay.
And I didn't be like, I had sex with her because I didn't have sex with her.
Well, isn't a BJ more intimate than sex?
It depends on it always depends
that
on the
is-
mood and the atmosphere and everything comes together. It's never, because some people you just,
Did she buy me a drink?
you know what I mean? Like you might have a romantic evening and
And end
sex
it with
has a lot of impact and intimacy.
Yeah, but you can fuck a chick through a fence.
Sure you can. But that's different. You treat that differently than like when you actually
Well-
like somebody,
I think you would have to really like somebody to give them a blowjob.
Not necessarily.
That's not true.
What?
Freaking the
Not
20-somethings
necessarily.
now, they're all over that. They
Okay.
want that as like a first
If-
date goodbye.
Yeah,
I'm like,
if-
whoa.
If you're
Can
not
we
doing
just-
like the one night stand thing, that's like you're out at a club or whatever. You can do that, and I hate to say that, it's like in a bathroom or something.
Seriously. That's like what a third of the
Why
Tinder
am I
people
not
do
hanging out
now.
where you guys hang out?
Gotta come out to Cedarburg now.
What the heck?
Cedarburg,
bro.
man,
Get your
side,
dome,
bro.
Cedarburg, the dome. They should put a dome over Cedarburg.
Why do you think I left Washington County?
Yes. God damn. All right. Okay. When are they going to invent a sex robot?
They
Already have. Yes, they have. And did you hear the news story about the sex robots? This is actually triggering something.
I did not.
They are worried about people hacking sex robots so they murder you.
Okay. That sounds like a really bad movie in the making, too.
Right
On
there,
Netflix.
sci-fi.
Straight
Yeah,
to
like
Netflix.
The Japanese
they will
have
just crush you.
invented like a sex robot
Oh,
that
yeah.
you actually live with.
They're way
Yeah.
more perverted than we are.
Well,
Yeah.
they have. Well, it's not even perverted. They have intimacy issues, and they've done like research on it. Where the Japanese, like they're marrying their friends just because they don't have like actual intimacy with like the dating scene.
Interesting.
Wow. So if you came into some money and got a sex robot and then were out of town for a week, could I borrow it?
I mean, sure.
Probably cheaper to have 3 girlfriends at once
Yeah.
than buy one sex robot.
Right.
God,
You
how
know,
much
just-
sex robots are.
It's an
just
investment.
clean it up
Well,
when
now
you're
if I-
done, please.
I'll take it to the.
It's like a computer, right? Investment.
How much to get this clean? For you, a lot.
Like, what's the the software is obsolete on this. Like, did I upgrade the software on my sex robot?
The sex robot is just like, please don't send me home with that guy. He is a freak. Help. Kill me.
Weird butt stuff.
All right. We should have about one more question here. Dear Alex,
Yes.
I pee in the shower and my girlfriend thinks it's weird. What's up with that? Is it okay to pee in the shower?
Now, I've had this discussion with 2 previous, ex-girlfriends. And they didn't care.
Okay.
Sometimes, as a dude, you can't control it when the hot water hits your body. It almost just happens.
Yeah, you relax.
Now, when I've dated people for the first time, you take that first shower or whatever,
Mhm.
I hold it in until it hurts because hey, I'm peeing in the drain. Turn around. Don't look at me. But you know what? I think
And
it's
then
something.
Molly is like 3, 2, 1. Just get a pee.
I think it's something, at least at first, until you're comfortable and on your way, you should at least discuss it.
Well, who the hell would be in the shower? Because I pee in the shower. Why would you, like, get out of the shower, freeze, then have to pee when you're cold? Here we go.
I've heard actually, like,
8
from a lot of
reasons
people that
you
it's not a
should
bad
pee
thing.
in the shower
Yeah.
and not feel gross.
Yeah. Like I said, my former...
You get a pee trap.
My
out
two
there, no pun intended.
ex-girlfriends were
It's
totally fine.
economical. There you go.
It is economical.
New program will save the university over $230,000 a year in water costs if you pee in the shower. It's good for the environment. It's more hygienic. What? It is sterile. Many public healths have long wondered how toilet paper ended up.
You can actually drink your pee. They've proved, like, people
That's
who
right.
are...
Urine is sterile.
Well,
I
people
watched
who have been-
Dodgeball, and I
yeah.
listened to Rip Torn tell me that he drinks his own urine because it's sterile, so I assume
Oh,
so.
yeah.
He likes the taste.
Okay, even aside from that, like, they say that if you, like, they've looked at survival issues, like, or situations where
Trapped in the
people have
desert
been
or something.
trapped in the desert, and there was someone was trapped in a cave with 2 other people, and 2 people didn't drink their pee, and 1 did, and that one survived because it's sterile. It's a
Yeah, but
a
it's
form
full of ketones and salt, so it would make you more
But I mean,
dehydrated.
it was something
Only
that they
the
could
mental
ingest.
thing.
There was nutrients in it that your body was getting rid of that they didn't need. But
Okay, now I think this website's getting a little...
they get a
Crazy.
little hokey.
Yeah, it says
I
it will make
have
you
heard that it's not a
prepared.
bad thing.
So women can practice their squatting method to be prepared. It will improve
you mean
your
number 2?
aim. Girls can aim their pee too. We might not be able to write our names in the snow or put out a campfire, but we can still learn to control the
Hey,
flow and direction.
if you go to Summerfest, most girls do not want to sit on those seats.
It's fun.
They do the hover.
What? That's reason 7 is it's fun.
So maybe not the most.
It's
legit
not as
shite.
weird as you think. Over 80% of people admitted to being mellow with the yellow in the shower. Al Roker.
That's exactly what I want to hear on a Sunday night.
Al Roker pees in the shower.
Thank goodness. Now I feel better about myself.
For that. That is awesome. All right, I think we should wrap it up here on peeing in the shower.
Yeah, let's end that train wreck.
That's right. All right, Alex, you've been pretty good at the reads. Why don't you do some reads for us?
Remember, Universe, we want to hear from you, and we want you to see what we have to offer. So our website is tomandalexuniverse.com, our Twitter handle @Unipodcast, and Facebook at facebook.com/Unipodcast. And remember, you can also listen to us on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, and many of the other podcast hosting sites. And also check out The Mill in Grafton.
Absolutely.
Grafton Arts Mill.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Grafton Arts
Thank you
Mill.
very much, Susan Majeski. Right.
Yeah, thank
Way
you
to
guys
go,
for having me
nailed
here.
it.
Yeah. And again, you can go to our website. You can hit the donate button if you want us to get better shit for the podcast, because we're never good enough for you.
That's right. Remember that.
All right. Thank you very much.